I like this guy, even though I've yet to talk with him. I like this guy because sports background. Okay, he's a D1 college athlete. I'll have to verify that, but that is my understanding. Okay, and what he has done is created a new lawn game of sorts that. Not only do I think it's going to sweep across the country, but I actually think that they could. I actually think they could stand up like new kind of putt putt courses that are not
Yeah.
putt putt. It's actually better than putt putt. I'm talking about the one and only Tyler Simmons, founder of Bucket Golf. Tyler, get in here. Get inside the show, Tyler. Get in here. There he is.
Oh, let's go.
There he is. Tyler, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, man, we're
Absolutely.
glad that you have come. Now, Tyler, you have to tell me if this is true, okay? What I have heard is that Bucket Golf, you kicked it off first 3 years. I think we were looking at about 5,000 in sales. That's what I've heard. Now, man, you guys are on a rocket ship. You've been on Shark Tank, and you've got Mark Cuban, and you've got Lori as investors, and now we're up and to the right, and we're headed to the moon. Man, tell me, I mean, is that the case? And brother, if it is, how did you keep this thing going when you only had 5K in sales the first 3 years? I mean, that is dogged persistence, my friend.
That is 100% confirmed, and honestly, 5,000 may be an exaggeration. I don't even know. It may be lower than that. But yes, that is pretty much how it started, because I had zero background in any of this at all. So just kind of tried to figure it out as on the side gig while I was working still regular job. I just couldn't quite figure it out for a while, honestly. So that's but obviously kept going because I thought it was an awesome product, awesome game.
Yeah.
I knew there's definitely a way. I just couldn't figure out how to do it for a while. And then finally, obviously, found my path and figured it all out. Took a while though.
How did this come to be? I mean, were you just, did you just like kind of come up with the idea out on the lawn, or were you at the beach? How did you come up with this idea, Tyler?
So the idea is actually not even my idea, which is interesting enough. So it's my sister-in-law's family came up with the idea. They used to make these homemade sets. They looked way different than the ones that we actually sell now, like completely different materials, everything. You had to go to about 10 different stores, like arts and craft stores, to try to put one of these babies together. And I played one, and then I was like, oh, where can I buy the set? And they're like, oh, it's not real. Like we made this thing. I was like, what? It's really the best game I've ever played. So I Google everywhere, try to find it. I'm like, oh, it actually doesn't exist. This is really just like a homemade, like made up thing. So that's kind of how it came to be. And then try to like figure out how to actually make it into a real consumable product that's portable, you can ship, and all this stuff is like why it took so long to kind of like figure it all out. But yeah, that's how it actually started. Was sister-in-law's family made this homemade set for people.
Yeah, maybe that's why they say family first, Tyler. You got to keep them around in case they have any brilliant ideas. Go ahead, Colin.
Yes, apparently.
What I love about this is you can basically take the golf course anywhere you want. If you want to go on the side of a beach, you can do that. If you want to go on the side of a mountain, if you want to do it anywhere is now your golf course to practice golf. I know you've probably seen some crazy locations just from customers or any influencers. Could you talk a little bit about where you maybe have gotten something back where it's just absolutely unbelievable? You can't realize the fact that you're now on the side of, XYZ thing.
Yeah, we've had some pretty crazy course sets up. We just had one of the craziest ones. I think someone who already has Bucket Golf and is playing just sent us a message, and they are, I think, hiking Machu Picchu, and they have they're like, we got to set up a course here. We love the game, and this would be the coolest location to set a course up. And we're like, done. Yeah, that would be an insane place to set the course up.
Wow.
And play. But that's probably the craziest one. And then other than that, just all over. People set it up in the winter on just frozen ice courses.
That's a great
they set it up and play everywhere that you could possibly possibly think of. And yeah, that's the best part about the game. You can play golf anywhere and give you that kind of like that high of golf just anywhere. You don't have to go to the actual course.
Yeah.
Tyler, bring us into getting on Shark Tank, okay? Which that is like momentous occasion.
Crazy.
Okay. You're like enshrined in the D2C Hall of Fame, okay? If you get on Shark Tank, okay. Tell us about this. You know, the thing that's brilliant to me about this is that of course you're selling fun, you're selling like family interaction, you're selling like an enterable way for your kids to get into a form of golf that they might like. But take us into getting on Shark Tank. And I know everybody and their mom on the show wanted a piece and wanted to get in on Bucket Golf. Man, what was that like? And why did Mark and Lori take the plunge? I mean, what was compelling to them?
Yeah, so getting on the show is takes forever. The amount of stuff you have to send, it pretty much becomes a full-time job with like the amount of stuff that's required to send over when you're trying out and like all the videos and stuff. But obviously, yeah, it's like or at least it was one that like I watched Shark Tank all the time before, 10 years plus before I'd ever gone on. So it was a dream of mine to go on the show. We got the email, freaked out. I was like, no way, is this actually real Shark Tank? Because you get so many spam emails of people like sending stuff. I had to like confirm 10 times, like, no, this is the real Shark Tank. Here's the show, right? I was like, this isn't like some side gig. Like, no, this is the real show. Because I think we had gotten some before of like, oh, this is a former Shark Tank person. And we're like, oh, it's not the real show. Like, I knew it could too good to be true. But yeah, I went through the whole process, lucky enough to like get all the way and actually to the show, because apparently you can get like right before the show, they can tell you like, hey, we got too many people and you're not going on. Like even the day of, they tell you like sometimes we have too many people and the Sharks, like a pitch goes long and sometimes you get cut. Like you're literally there in LA and you get cut.
Crazy.
So gotta have luck go your way to like actually get on the show. And then yeah, I went out there and got lucky that everybody seemed to like what we had and brought, and nothing went too terribly wrong. I had to hit a shot in the beginning to hopefully show them how fun the game was, and just thought like, God, I hope I don't mess this up and hit it terrible.
Brutal. Yeah.
But yeah, I got Mark and Lori were the two. So we actually only got Mark. Lori was the one who said, I will take the same deal, because we had Mark who offered us not exactly, wanted a little bit higher. Then Lori came and said, I'll take that deal you're offering. And then Mark matched it. And we were like, okay, Mark is a little bit more sporty and we thought he'd be a little bit of a better fit. Yeah. That's why we chose Mark. But it was close between the two of them in the end.
I love it, man. I love it.
Wow. And so after that episode aired, I mean, you broke your daily sales record. You did, 50 times your normal volume. What does that look like behind the scenes on the operations side? And did anything break? Because obviously it's basically like putting napalm right on the store at one day. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Is that true, Tyler? 50 times like your usual record? I mean, is that what you guys did sales wise? I mean, that's insane.
I don't know if it was actually the full 50 times.
Okay. All right.
It definitely breaks. It breaks everything, because at that point you're not ready. Or I mean, you try to be as ready as you possibly can. Yeah. Lucky for us, we actually had, before Shark Tank, we had a viral video got 25 million views. Whoa. And I think it had close to like 1 million shares on Instagram. And that broke everything for us before the show even aired.
Seriously.
So we had our whole team of like 6 people in the warehouse from 7 a.m. until like 8 p.m. trying to ship orders out to stay on track and like keep the momentum going. And that pretty much broke everything for us. So we kind of learned from there how to be a little bit better before Shark Tank happened. And then obviously you get to like prep, 2 weeks in advance. So to kind of get a little bit of a head start on the game. So yeah, got a little bit lucky. So we fully broke then. So when Shark Tank aired, we had already had something like that happen, to where it didn't like fully destroy us this time. And we like stayed on top of it a little bit better. But it is, yeah, it's good problems to have when something like that happens. And just
crazy,
like, your whole entire system.
Crazy.
That's unbelievable. Could you talk a little bit about that video? I mean, was that a personal video in-house, or was that an influencer video? And what was actually the content of that made it go, I mean, so bonkers viral? 25 million views is No joke.
It was the biggest video still we've had today, and still trying to replicate it. It's like, you know, you get it once and then you're like, oh, I just got to get a bunch more of those and I'm going to be at $100 million. It's like, well,
I just do that a couple times.
They would happen more often. But yeah, that video was actually something I just edited together myself. I play a lot of bucket golf, my family and friends. So I just have so much footage on my phone. And it was just a video that I edited. I saw someone do something similar for a different sports product, which I think is where a lot of the best viral clips come from, is just not like stealing clips, but taking inspiration from somebody else you see. It could be completely different field and then making your own version of it. And that's kind of how it happened, is I just made my own version of something else I liked. And then I literally went on my phone and I was like, holy crap, there's like 2 million views in 2 hours. Like, what is happening? Is this broken? And then I kept on having to check, and yeah, it just exploded. This video just went off. So all stars aligned. It was like early May when summer, Father's Day is about to happen, graduation is about to happen. Just like everything kind of collided at the same time. And I think that's what led to the 25 million view video. But yeah, if only we could get a couple more of those babies.
That is wild, man.
Wow. That's crazy.
What's crazy too is that you cook that up yourself.
Exactly.
It's like, let me get here on my phone. I mean, that's a nitty gritty D2C, baby. I mean, that's the real deal.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell me, I would imagine, you know, at the time prior to Shark Tank, I would imagine you guys have been selling on the internet, doing everything that you can via the website, probably Amazon too, is my guess. And what do things look like now post investment? And are you guys in retail stores? What's been the trajectory here forward, and how have things changed?
Yes, we were definitely heavy website, heavy Amazon before Shark Tank. We had Shields was our best retailer before Shark Tank. They kind of took a chance on us. They were really the only ones willing to. And we took over Shields stores. We have an entire like wall of Bucket Golf in Shields. They are amazing partners. Like, they are awesome. I love Shields. And then these other guys kind of wouldn't really fully give us a chance. We were talking to a lot of them, but they weren't quite sold on the idea. They're like, I don't know, like maybe we've had a lot of people fail in this way. And we were like, all right, we understand. And then, yeah, once Shark Tank hit, all of them were like, all right, let's give you a try, get in here. And then since that happened, like, we went into Dick's, we went into PJ Superstore, a bunch of other, those are like the two bigger ones. And just immediately all the stuff sells out and they can't keep us in stock on the shelves, really. And I wasn't sure how it was going to go, because I was like, I don't really know. I've heard a lot of people kind of like talking, is it going to go well in retail? Is it not? Like, sometimes you get in and you don't sell and then you're back out. But luckily it did go very well for us. And just like, we're in every single Dick's Sporting Goods store now, and they can't really keep us on the shelves. And I think it's probably because our organic social media is kind of that's where we're always built from. Is like, we started with organic because I didn't really know how to do ads early on, as I only knew how to do organic social media. So that's kind of where we built our whole entire thing, was organic social first. And I guess it is a good recipe in retail, is a lot of people see it organically and then go into the store and buy it.
I think this is something that we have seen again and again, is that heat online, heat on the internet, it drives purchases in stores. I mean, it drives purchases in retail. If you got physical heat going on Instagram, on TikTok, etc., there's spillover, and it drives footsteps. It drives people to go inside of Dick's and inside of Shields and pick you up there. That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's been awesome.
You're a D1 athlete, is that correct?
Yes, I was a D1 lacrosse player.
There we go.
So I mean, we had the guys of Pretty Boy on. They're also D1, and that kind of let them kind of use that network, and they eventually got Trey Hendrickson as one of the larger faces of their brand. How are you thinking about that? I mean, you for sure have this treasure trove of athletes in your network, and I'm sure they're all hyper coordinated, where they could be amazing for you specifically, and in that roster, giving them product seeding. How are you thinking about that, and are you trying to pull that lever hard right now?
Yeah, so I actually started, the first company I ever started was lacrosse training equipment. We still do it as well. So definitely works a little bit better there. Lacrosse, like I have a bunch of friends who play pro lacrosse and who are a bunch of like the top guys. Lacrosse, I think, is a little different than a lot of the other like big time sports where people don't really know who a lot of the best lacrosse players are. So they definitely, a lot of them play bucket golf, and I've sent them all sets and they're super helpful. And they're really good at it too. But it hasn't played too much in our strategy, mostly just because, they're not, it's not the same as an NFL like guy where he just has like so many eyes on him. But that is one interesting thing though we've seen is like I kept thinking if we got this big name person, it would help explode us so much. And we've gotten like worked with a couple big name people who, whatever, they'll send us a message like, hey, I love Bucket Golf, like whatever, 10 million followers, famous pro NFL players, like Ed Reed was one of them. Like we sent him Bucket Golf sets and he reached out to us and was like, this is sick. And like a bunch of other guys on that level, and thinking it was going to kind of like explode us. And it doesn't do as much as I thought it would do. I don't know why, because like obviously these guys are like amazing. Everyone knows who these guys are, but I'm not quite sure why. So we haven't really trekked down that path that much. We've gone more of like maybe this person who has 1,000 followers and happens to love golf and bucket golf, and they can get 5 million views faster than like someone with a 5 million person account, with the way that social media has kind of worked recently. Like anyone can get views if they do a good job. And it almost seems more authentic coming from a random person in their backyard than like a bigger name guy who maybe people think like, oh, like they probably paid them to do that. So I don't know. That's just like our path. I know obviously other people have had different success with using like a bigger name guy like those guys you were talking about. But for us, maybe it's a backyard game where people just don't really, you don't really care if a famous person plays it or not. Maybe I'm not quite sure why, but that's just like the results we've seen when we tried stuff like that, though.
And sometimes the best results just come when Tyler goes out to the backyard and takes the phone with him. Sometimes that's what happens.
That's what happens.
Okay, Tyler, tell us, man, what's coming 2026 and beyond, man. What are you excited about? You're in Dick's now. I would guess that's like 180. That's like 180 plus doors there, I would imagine. What's coming in 2026 that you're excited about? Do you ever see, bucket golfs becoming the new wave of putt-putts that happen across the United States, or what's coming? What are you excited about this year and beyond?
Yeah, for sure. So we are thinking a lot about, and this is because people have already started to do it themselves, is we started to talk a lot about tournaments and leagues with bucket golf, just because it's so much easier. Like you finish work and I can just go and play in a little bucket golf league. I love golf myself, so I'll play real golf at any moment, anytime. But it's like you got to commit. You got to drive however far to get to the course. It gets dark. People have family. People have kids. There's a lot of stuff going on, so you can't always get to the course. So we've seen people start these like after work leagues in the spring and the summer, where they'll just get 20 people together on Wednesday and play a bucket golf league. And then, so that's one thing we're starting to try to just help the community organize and get these things and find each other better to get more tournaments and leagues going on to try to just increase the game along with some new products that we're coming out with to help expand the game. But that's kind of what we're really excited about for 2026. Maybe get on ESPN 8, the Ocho, with some of these.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, they got cornhole championships on ESPN, the 8, the Ocho. There needs to be bucket golf championships, darts. Epic entries, all of that. I mean, we need the Stone Cold Steve Austin breaking the glass music, and then people walking out. I think that's a great idea. I love the league play. That's super smart. It's very fitting. I mean, community based. Reward people who do well. That's great.
Selfishly, I want to see you at the Masters next year. We saw Maven Golf do a house at the Masters. I want to see you guys have a house next year. Like, when is that going to be happening? We can all set up, get some great content. I mean, come on, let's do it.
That is the dream for sure to be at the Masters one way or another, whether it's with bucket golf or not. But yeah, that would be unreal. I don't know if that's quite up their alley. They might be like, yeah, get out of here with that game. This is real.
No, it's accessible. It's helping the sport be more accessible to everybody who's not Roy McIlroy that shoots, a 45 and is unbelievable, and just, and me, who's terrible at golf, will, feel great.
We'll have Jason Kelsey and his kids over there, playing
Oh
bucket golf, as people are making their way to Augusta.
Absolutely.
Well, Tyler, man, we love what you're doing. And I think this league play so smart. I can see it. I can see it in my mind's eye. I can see it happening in my neighborhood right now. People would eat it up. And twice on Sunday, man, we appreciate you coming on the show. We're going to stay tuned, and we look forward to having you back, brother.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
Appreciate it, man.